stand up class. So before we start our lesson for today, let us pray first. Okay, class. Good morning, class. Okay. Before we start, we need to sing our song, which is the math song. Are you ready, class? Okay. So sing with me. M-A-T-H, M-A-T-H, I love math, I love math. Okay, class. Let's proceed. So, sit down, please. Before we start, so who are the absent for today? No? Okay, thank you. So, why we should go to school every day? Okay, that's correct. We need to go to school every day in order for us to learn more new things and to learn more knowledge. That's correct. So, before we start our class, what are the guidelines or the classroom rules in our school? If someone is teaching in front, what will you do? Okay, pay attention. What else? Okay, keep quiet. Correct. And what else? Okay, raise your hand if you want to answer. And lastly, okay, sit properly. That's correct. So, pass your assignment, class. Today, before we start our proper lesson, I will show you one picture. So, what is this, class? Okay, guavas. So, how many guavas are there in this picture? So, let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, there are 8 guavas in this picture. So, I have here some review about our class. So, before we start with our review, let us read our objectives. So first, identify the types of proportion. Secondly, solve word problems involving different types of proportion. And number 3, show teamwork and cooperation through group activities. So let us proceed, guys. Let us proceed, kids, with our review for today. So, find the product of the following. So what is the answer of the number 1? Okay, correct, 15. Number 2. Okay, 24, correct. And number 3. 35, correct. Number 4. Okay, correct, 25. And last number. Okay, 40, correct. You did a great job, class. So, let us proceed. I have here a video that I will show to you. So before we start this video, what is our guidelines before seeing this video? Okay, anyone from the class? Okay, correct. Prepare yourself to watch. And number 2 or second? Okay, pay attention. That's correct. So this is the video that we
The Ant and the Dog. Once upon a time, a very thirsty ant was drinking water from the river. Suddenly, the ant lost his balance and fell into the river water. "Help! Help! Help!" cried the ant, but no one could hear his cry.
Okay, class. So I have here some question about our video. So who are the characters from the video? Anyone from the class? You. Okay, that's correct. The ant and the dove. And what is the title of the video? Correct, the ant and the dove. So, where did the ant fell into? Correct, in the river water. So, who helped the ant? The dove, correct. So, what is the value that you learned in our video? Correct. Now, do good deeds, and in returns there will be also good things that will come for you. So let us proceed to our activity. So I will group you into 3 groups, and in every group there are 1 task that you need to answer. Is that clear, class? Okay. So the group 1 will be here, which is the direct proportion. Group 2, inverse proportion. And the group 3, partitive proportion. So let us start. I will give you 5 minutes for you to answer this activity. Are you done, class? Okay. Okay, class. This is your activity or your output for today. So, class, this is the output of the group 1. So their findings or their definition about the direct proportion is this: when one quantity increases, the other quantity increases at the same rate and vice versa. And their example is the bus fare for an 80-kilometer trip is 65 pesos. So how much is the bus fare for a 320-kilometer trip? Okay, class, let's proceed to the group 2. This is their outputs. So the definition of the inverse proportion in the group 2 is this: when one quantity increases, the other quantity decreases, and vice versa. Their example is if 6 men can plow a field in 2 days, how long will 3 men do it? So let's proceed to the group 2. So, from the group 3, this is their definition about the partitive proportion. A whole is divided into parts that is proportional to the given ratio. So their example was the sum of 2 numbers is 215. If the ratio is 2:3, find the large number. So, all of your answer, class, was good and correct. And you did a great job. So, let us proceed to our another discussion. So, anyone from your class, what is direct proportion? Okay, correct. Direct proportion is when quantity increases and the other quantity increases at the same rate and vice versa. That is the definition of the direct proportion. So, what is the inverse proportion? Anyone from the class? Okay, correct. So, this is the definition of the inverse proportion. When one quantity increases, the other quantity decreases, and vice versa. So, anyone from the class, what is partitive proportion? Okay, correct. A whole is divided into parts that is proportional to the given ratio. So, all of your answer, class, is correct. So, you did a great job for this class. So let's proceed. Um, I have questions to you, class. How can we determine if it is direct, inverse, partitive proportion? Anyone from the class? Okay, you. Correct. We can determine if it is direct proportion if the quantity increases and the other quantity increases too. And how can we determine if it is inverse proportion? Anyone? Okay, you. Correct. We can determine if it is inverse proportion if the quantity increase while the other decreases. That's correct. And what is partitive proportion? Anyone from the class? Correct. So the definition of the partitive, or we can determine the partitive proportion if it is divided into parts. Now, class, we will be having an individual activity, and all you need to do is to write your answer in a one-part sheet of paper. So the question is, what are the three types of proportion and its definition? You only have 3 minutes to do this activity. Okay, class. Are you done, class? Okay. Pass your activities. Okay, very good. So, we have here. So, we need to proceed to our activity, which is the group activity. So, this activity is composed with two groups. So, the group 1 is here and the group 2 is here. So, I will give you flashcards or problems that you need to identify it and if it is inverse or anything. So, this is our, before we start our lesson or our activity, I have here the rubrics. So class, this is our rubric for this activity. Number 1 is neatness. If the So number 1 is neatness. If your output is neat and there's no something that is unnecessary to the works, and I will give you 10 points for that. So number 2 is relevance. If your works or outputs is relevance to our topic, then I will give you 20 or 10 points. So number 3 is cooperation. If the all members will cooperate, then I will give you 10 points for that. So let us start with our activity. So I will give you these problems, and you will be the one to identify it. Okay. So start now, class. Are you done? Okay, I will post it to the front. So this is the output of the group 1. Maita earns 450 pesos in selling sampaguita garlands on 4 Sundays. How many Sundays will take her in to earn 1,350? So their conclusion with this problem is they said that it is a direct proportion. So I will give a check for this because it is correct. So number 2, a sum of money is to be shared in the ratio of 3:5:7, if the smallest share is $4, what are the other two shares and how much money is shared? So the conclusion or the answer of the group 1 was also correct with this, and the answer is partitive proportion. Check. So this is the number 3 or the number 3 problem, or yes. So their conclusion about this is it is partitive proportion or inverse proportion, and this is the one is this one is the partitive proportion. So their output was correct also. So in group 2, their answer with this or number 1 is also direct proportion. So in all, they are correct also. So number 2, which is it is a partitive proportion, so they are correct. And number 3, it is inverse proportion. So in total, all of you got the correct answer. But before that, I will let you give the score. So number 1. So to the group 1, you think they have met the neatness. Okay. So I will give them 10 points for that. So in relevance, do you think guys the group 1 did the great job, or did their topic was relevant to our topic? Okay, that's correct. So 10 points this. So with the cooperation, did you see your classmates or the group 1 cooperate with each other? Okay, 10 points, another 10 points. So let us proceed to the group 2. So in neatness, do you think the group 2 met the standard, or there is no something that unnecessary to their works? Okay, so another 10 points with them. So in relevance, do you think class that the group 2, their output was relevant or relevance to our topic? Okay, so another 10 points. And in cooperation, did you see the group 2 cooperate with each other? Okay, so another 10 points for that. So in total, you got 30 points. So, I have some question with you guys. It is all about our topic for today. And there is nothing that without this topic. So, this is my question for to you. So, what is direct proportion? Or what are the 3 types of proportion? Anyone from the class? Okay, you. Okay, correct. The 3 types of proportion is or are direct proportion, partitive proportion, and inverse proportion. So another question. How about what is the direct proportion? Anyone? Okay. So that's correct. When one quantity increases, the other quantity increases at the same rate and vice versa. So, how about the inverse proportion? Okay, that's correct. Inverse proportion is when quantity increases and the other quantity decreases and vice versa. And lastly, what is partitive proportion? That's correct. The partitive proportion is a whole is divided parts into parts that is proportional to the given ratio. So, I have here our evaluation. So, let us answer this one by one. I will post it into board in order for you to see my effort with this thing. So, let us read the direction to our evaluation. So, identify the following, whether it is a direct, inverse, partitive, or partitive proportion. So, number 1, 8 men can do a certain job in 12 days. And how many men will really hire to do same work in 20 days? So, number 2, Colin can buy 24 bottles of a cold drink for $15. How many bottles can she buy for an $85? So number 3, the ratio of the 3 sides of triangle is 1:2 and 1:3. So what are the measurements of each side of triangle? Is 120 centimeter. So let us proceed to the test 2. Direction. Let us read the direction. Identify the word problem if it is direct proportion, partitive proportion, or inverse proportion. And if it is direct proportion, just write DP. And if it is partitive proportion, just write PP. And if it is inverse proportion, just write IP. So this is the word problem. So let us read together. When the number of people living in the house decreases and also the expenses decreases, what it is? So you decided, guys, or you decided, class, to your answer. So for the last part, it is the best part of this lesson, which is the assignment. So in the Langban paper, there are 5 objects that the students always use in study. So that's all, guys. So before we end our lesson for today, so let us stand first and pray before we leave. And thank you, class, and goodbye. Okay, you may now leave.